extra strength, so we gave us the power, so we he's showing out, that's why we
Yo, we are back, episode 37 of the Not the Same Podcast Sports Show, hosted by me, and me, the black dude, and Rob, the other black dude.
That boy said hosted by me. I'm like, I'm here.
Hey, I don't know. It just popped in my head. D, what's up, sis? Appreciate you sliding through. Always appreciate your ongoing support. I want to give a special shout out, Rob, one time for our man Noah Caudill. This man has decided, I know this is not the Bible study or the other music and faith show, but this man had decided to pay his tithes to the Not the Same Podcast, brother. So we pray blessings on that, brother, and not to be too deep for y'all. They go all over your head, but we is blessed, and we pray he be blessed. Salute to you, brother. All right, man. How you doing, bro?
Man, I'm straight, bro. Like, I'm excited about tonight. I mean, last night you had me reading scrolls. I felt like we was in the Ten. I felt like we was in the Ten Commandments. You know what I'm saying? And I got this ring light looking at me and these light. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure something out, brother. I'm just gonna find out what version you in and put that mug and Y rule, because you had it in college rule, and we'll see what happened from there.
That brother said Y rule and college rule. Man, I ain't heard that in forevers.
When you start reading them scrolls, you'll understand, bro.
I know. I be look when it's my turn. I be practicing beforehand. Be like, man, let me practice my reading skills. Mr. G, what's up, brother? What's up?
But like, boy, what's up?
What's up, brother? MC Fondas. Yes, I'm always here. All right, man. Look,
talking about me. She got on me earlier today. She was like, "You, MC Fondas came to visit you, huh?"
All the time. It gets both of us, man, and we don't care because we doing a live show. But we need y'all to do a favor. Everybody that slid through, do us a favor because we are live on YouTube exclusively. We need you to hit that like and subscribe and hit the like button, subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you can keep up when we go live on the Not the Same Podcast. By hitting like, even if you're watching right now, do us a favor and hit that like. By hitting like, it alerts other people within the YouTube community that we are live and bring people over here to see what's going on, because we have a special guest with us tonight that we're going to bring in a few minutes, our brother, Mr. Eric Boston, owner of the 520 Collective, as well as a astute baseball fan. Unfortunately, he's a fan of the Kansas City Royals, but hey, we'll forgive him for that because it kind of got Missouri in it. Kind of.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it's still kind of. He's still on 70. At least he ain't up there with some folks. You know what I'm saying? So,
they Cubs had a little run. They was feeling all good about themselves, and then they became once again the Cubs.
Right.
All right, man.
Little Bears.
Yeah. Stop it, dog. Don't do it like that. All right, man. Let's get into what's popping.
Yeah.
somebody tell me what's popping.
Don't call them little bears. Don't call them little bears.
Bad news bears. That's what
Bad news bears. All right, first subject for tonight before we get into and bring our brother Eric Boston in, the Deshaun Watson news. Rob always had these stats. I'll let you go ahead with this. I'm going to give my comments.
So Deshaun Watson received 6 games and will be eligible to return in Week 7 against the Baltimore Ravens on October 23rd. Now, this is what I'm going to say because the NFL has until today, I think, midnight, to appeal the suspension.
They already have. Before you say they have.
They did appeal?
Yes.
Okay, I'm out the loop. So they did appeal. I don't think it's going to go through, and I'm going to tell you why. Can you imagine the Cleveland Browns versus the Baltimore Ravens, Deshaun Watson versus Lamar Jackson, #cash cow? That's all I'm going to say. Come on, man. That's all I can see with that one. So we'll see what happens with the appeal, and I think Goodell is kind of folding to public perception, if you will. So, and I'll leave it at that. But yeah, 6 games is what they first the initial suspension is 6 games. We'll see if they give them a full season.
All right. My opinion is totally different. This is not debate fuel, but hey, here we go. Listen, there's no way in Hades this man is going to only be suspended for 6 games. No way in the world. No way in the world. And this is why I say that. When Goodell and the NFL appeals, you know who gets to answer that? Roger Goodell. Which means if he didn't want that for him to have only 6 games, and the judge that he sent it to, that he handpicked, that he sent it to still gave him 6 games, but he really wanted 12 games. He going to at least have 12 games. And they want him to pay a fine. And they want this man to get to some training. Look, man, whether it was proven in court or not that it was literally some sexually assault, my man got issues, dog.
Oh,
you know
he do. He definitely need to go to class.
He got some real fetish issues. He need to get what they call it when you got them corporate jobs, them reconditioning classes or whatever. Yeah, he need to get one of those. You know what I mean? But yeah, we'll just say that. Mr. G says they're adding a few games and to find the judge through Goodell Lifeline. Yeah,
I give him 2.
So you
he'll
saying
get
8 games?
Half the games. 8 games. It's a what? 17-game season. Somebody. Whatever it's 17, I give them 9. I know this ain't debate fuel, but they gave him 6. Happy medium is 9, and then they'll let him go ahead and play with the fine. Plus, he'll have to go through some type of psychological, you know what I'm saying, counseling or whatever.
Yeah, well, we can all believe what we want to believe, and I don't know if I'm gonna be right or not, but I'm gonna tell you what, I ain't gonna be right. But he gonna be suspended 12 games. Watch this. Bet your house note on it, dog. Put your house note up. No, I'm kidding.
All right, man. I like my house.
Right. All right, next subject, man. We getting into the MLB, which is Major League Baseball trade deadline update, and for this update, we have a special guest, our brother, Mr. Eric Boston.
Yeah,
if y'all knew what went on in the background of these little scenes. But nah, hey, look, y'all welcome again, our brother, Mr. Eric Boston. If you have been a long time watcher of the Not the Same podcast, you know exactly who this is. If you are not a long time watcher of the Not the Same podcast, salute to our brother Eric Boston for sliding through and helping us with this baseball-ish. But absolutely, let's give this brother a round of applause right quick. Humble salute.
Yeah, right.
Hi guys. How you doing, bro?
Oh, we're good, man. You know, it's the second half of the baseball year. It's getting started. Let's go.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Well, this is your time, brother. ESPN came out and I'll give ESPN's top 5 real quick, and then I want you to give what you feel is top 5, and we'll kind of dive in it. Number 1,
okay.
ESPN gave the Padres acquiring Juan Soto. That was the number 1 for ESPN. The number 2 trade that ESPN claimed, of course, once again, it was the Padres. They acquired Josh Harder from the Brewers. And this is just real quick. Number 3 was the Yankees acquiring pitcher Frankie Montas, as well as pitcher Louis Trevano. If I'm saying these wrong, forgive me. Number 4 was I know. Number 4 was Braves acquiring Raisel Iglesias from the Angels for Jesse Chavez. And number 5 on the ESPN was the Twins acquiring Jorge Lopez from the Orioles for 4 pitching prospects. What is your thoughts, and what
George,
do you have?
If you're Spanish, George,
yeah,
if you're Spanish.
yeah. George,
Jorge. Jorge Lopez, former Royal.
Yeah.
So I mean, the only one I agree with is number 1, and you can argue with it, right? I mean, not only did let's just set this up. So honestly, a couple weeks ago, when they said that Washington was going to make Juan Soto available, I honestly didn't think there's any way this trade was happening before the offseason.
Right.
I was like, it's just too short a time. They're not going to get the kind of deal that they could. They end up getting a killer deal.
Fact.
Now, not only did Washington send Soto to San Diego, they also get Josh Bell in the deal for the Padres.
Right.
And I mean, I just want to talk about Soto for just a minute, because this dude is hands down. I mean, I think he's the best player in baseball. He's you can definitely make that argument. If you just look at some of what he's done: 2-time All-Star, 2-time Silver Slugger, batting title in 2020, 2019 World Champion, and then even now this year, he's been on a Washington roster that outside of Josh Bell hasn't had a lot to protect him.
Nothing at all. Right.
So if you look at just like the batting average, batting 246, that's definitely, down from his lifetime average of 291. However, Soto has the best plate discipline that I've seen since Barry Bonds. And when it all goes down, he may be better than Bonds.
Uh-oh.
Right? Like
a lot.
Watch yourself now.
Okay, he's leading baseball this year in walks with 91. Yeah. That's 31 more than the second place person.
Right.
You know, he's got over 400 on base percentage. I mean, just killing it. And all this, Andy's 23 years old. 23. It's That's ridiculous how good he is. I mean, when you say generational talent, like that's not even fair. It's like multi-generational talent.
No doubt.
Soto. Padres have a generational talent in Fernando Tatis that they're going to be getting back in a few weeks. But now they just added a multi-generational talent to their roster.
So let me ask you this: where does this put them?
Stacked?
Where does this put the Padres though, going into September, and where does this put them with this acquisition?
So I still don't think they catch up with the Dodgers. I mean, if they're going to get in the playoffs as a wild card team, the Dodgers have a better rotation, better pitching staff. Not to knock the San Diego Padres pitching staff, they got good pitchers. Blake Snell, they just re-signed Musgrove to a new extension. Clevenger, I mean, they got some pitchers, but they need to be better. Yu Darvish is in there, but what it did for them is they've got a killer lineup, a killer offense that can match up with anybody. Because you took Josh Bell, who was Washington's second best offensive player, and brought him along with it. I mean, if we just look at his stats real quick, I mean, he's hitting over 300, near 400 OBP. Another guy who has a very good strikeout to walk ratio, and he's 12th in the major leagues in hits this year with 113. So
on base percentage, folks. On base percentage. I know he got, just for y'all to know, OBP is on base percentage.
Help him out, bro.
Sorry about that one. Yeah, I mean, dude, and then I mean, this wasn't in the same deal, but San Diego also went out and they got Brandon Drury, who's having a career year from Cincinnati, and brought him over as a utility guy.
Yeah,
like. It's going to be tough on opposing pitchers. I still think they are second behind the Dodgers as far as the National League is concerned. I think this gives them the edge on the Mets, who's been having a very good year. But I think they'll still have a little bit of work to do come the offseason to really push it over the top.
I mean, they're 11.5 games behind.
Watching us. My bad, bro, but I want to salute our sis sliding through. Miss Sports Talk with C. Good to see you, sis.
Oh, yeah. What's up, sis? Y'all check sis out, man. She come with the stats, man. The WNBA, she got it on lock. Now, back to the Padres. They're not catching the Dodgers, and I'm going to tell you why. They're 11.5 games behind. Like, the Dodgers would have to go on a tremendous slump like we've never seen before going into September for that to happen. But you agree with the first trade. Now, give your 2 through 5 trade.
Yeah.
Okay. So my number 2 is kind of a tandem deal. It's that the Yankees address their outfield via the teams in Missouri, right?
Yeah.
So they kind of –
this is true.
They kind of kicked off the deadline week last week by going and getting Andrew Benintendi, who was an all-star for the Royals this year, Gold Glove winner last year in left field. So they get him. Kansas City gets back a trio of pitching prospects that I'm pretty excited about a couple of them. One of them being former University of Mizzou pitcher TJ Sycamore, who actually broke Max Scherzer's record at Mizzou for strikeouts. So pretty excited about that. But Yankees go and get Benintendi, who can lock down left field. They've been having to run out Stanton. I think maybe the Yankees are starting to realize you can't put Stanton in the field and him stay healthy for any length of time. So you probably see him at DH the majority of the time there. And then they also made a deal kind of last minute with the Cardinals to get Harrison Bader for Jordan Montgomery.
Great
which
deal
was
for them.
it kind of my sleeper deal of the deadline, honestly. Like Jordan Montgomery, good, solid pickup for the Cardinals. He's a young guy, young pitcher who's looked really good last year and continued this year. But the Harrison Bader pickup for New York, they've been playing Judge at center field, who can I guess, technically play center field, but he's much better in right. And part of why they've had to be playing him there is that the rest of their outfield on the roster just is too big of a question mark, and they can't, stay in there on a regular basis. Like, Judge has been their only consistent guy. So the thing with getting Harrison Bader for me is that, yes, he's hurt right now. He probably won't be back until end of August, maybe beginning of September. But the Yankees don't need him before then. The Yankees need him for September and the playoffs.
Right.
And when Harrison Bader comes back and you put him in center field where he's, Gold Glove caliber in center, you got Gold Glove caliber in left now, and Judge can honestly be up there defensively and right. Now you totally overhauled your outfield, and you took maybe your most glaring defensive weakness and you made it a strength.
So that's your number 2 and 3. Is that your 2 and 3, or is the Yankees just 2 period with all their acquisitions?
That was I lumped it all together into one.
Okay, good deal. What's number 3 for me?
Number 3 for me was the Seattle Mariners getting Luis Castillo from Cincinnati. The Mariners are a team that in the AL West, went into this year expecting to compete, and I think they can. And they went out and got arguably the biggest pitching name on the trade block in Castillo. Castillo's win-loss record doesn't look amazing, but it says he's on a terrible Reds team, and I expect that he does a lot better. With Seattle, he's got an offense that can support him there. Cincinnati gets a really good haul out of him too. Like, I know you guys are Cardinals fans. You guys better watch out. In a few years, Cincinnati's coming. Like, they just made a huge injection into their farm system.
They did, but they're literally, sir, 13 games behind us, and you said a few years, so we're only worried about this year.
Hey, but baseball, man, you got to have the long view in baseball.
Yeah, no doubt. And as far as the Mariners, I mean, they're 11 games ahead of 11 games behind Astros. So even with that pickup, I got you. They still got a little ways to go.
Yeah.
Number 4, sir.
My number 4 was again kind of a package deal. I put the Minnesota Twins, boosting their pitching staff. So they made 3 deals. One of them you talked about a minute ago, where they got Jorge Lopez, who was all-star this year, closer for Baltimore Orioles, comes over to Minnesota. They also added starter Tyler Mahle from Cincinnati. And they also got Michael Fulmer from Detroit. And Fulmer is a guy who has, he's been a starter in the past. He's transitioned to the bullpen and honestly done pretty well in the bullpen. A lot of people expected Detroit to potentially trade, multiple relievers at the deadline. Didn't really happen, but they did move Fulmer, who's, I believe, getting ready to hit free agency after this year. But Minnesota, in a very, they've got the lead in the American League Central. Let's see, by a game over Cleveland. So not a big lead, but it's also not a very competitive American League Central right now. So I think Minnesota went and did what they needed to do in order to hold on. I mean, they've kind of held on to that number 1 spot all year. Their pitching's been a ragtag group, so they went and did what they could to solidify it. They had got Sonny Gray earlier in the year. So I think Minnesota did a really good job here right at the deadline.
They did, but they have to watch the White Sox also, who are only 2 games behind them. So any slip-ups and that division is open for grabs with those 3 teams. Also, Minnesota only had to give up prospects for that. So I think that was a huge pickup, only having to give up 3 prospects. So what's your number 5 for your 5 and final, sir?
So my number 5 was on, I think you said ESPN's list, right, as well, and that was the Yankees getting Frankie Montas and Lou Trevino. Montas was a name that, a lot of people expected him to get moved back during the offseason. Didn't happen. Came into the season with the A's, but no one expected him to stick in Oakland, past the deadline, and that held true. Like we talked about a minute ago, the Yankees traded Jordan Montgomery from their rotation to St. Louis. So kind of, create a spot that they were able to fill with with Montas here. Montas is a great pitcher, been really good the last 2 or 3 years. Honestly, I thought he would be a good fit for St. Louis, and I know that the Cardinals were tied to him. He seemed like a Cardinals type of acquisition.
Yeah,
but it didn't happen. The Yankees went in and got him, and I think he's going to flourish with that offense around him. That's going to put up runs, and put up support that he didn't get all the time in Oakland.
All right. So without being a homer, because I know we got to keep going with the what's popping. Without being a homer, right now, who do you have winning it all? And if you can't give me the winner, tell me the championship game between out of each league.
I mean, at this point, I think the easy pick would be the Dodgers and the Yankees, and that'd be a great matchup. It really would. The Yankees have been rolling this year. It's hard to see them slowing down. Aaron Judge is just having an incredible, like a historic season.
Right.
Don't he got like on pace 40-something home runs already?
Yeah, on pace for over 60 on the year.
Yeah.
So, we went to a game back at the beginning of May in Kansas City where he hit 2, and it seems like he hits 1 or 2 every time that they've played each other this year, Kansas City and New York. So, but yeah, I mean, for me, even though I'm not a Yankees fan by any means, it's hard to pick against them. I will real quick, if you allow me to. I've got two final trades I want to just throw out there, like an honorable mention and a most hilarious, if we got time.
Okay.
So honorable mention goes to Atlanta getting Jake Odorizzi for Will Smith. Houston had they were doing a 6-man rotation. They had kind of a log jam in their starting pitching. They send Odorizzi to Atlanta, who they know how to handle pitchers, and Odorizzi had a great outing his last start. Been hurt a little bit this year, but I think he's going to do really well for those defending champs, with the Braves. And Houston gets a guy who's pitched at a very good level out of the bullpen in Will Smith. And then my most hilarious trade is Kansas City sending Whit Merrifield to Toronto. I don't know if you guys paid attention to this or not, but right before the All-Star break, Kansas City went to play a series in Toronto, and they had 10 players they had to leave behind because of vaccination status, with Merrifield being one of them. And now he's traded to the Blue Jays,
where he's going to have to get vaccinated to even show up.
Well, and so from what I'm hearing is that they didn't even really have conversations with him beforehand. So they're not even sure that he's going to be willing to do that or not.
Wow.
Does he turn into a player who can only play on the road? I don't know.
Kyrie. Is he the Kyrie of baseball?
All right, the Kyrie of baseball.
I think he'll get it. I mean, he kind of, he kind of made some of the fans in Kansas City upset with the statements he made during that Toronto series, kind of alluding to, hey, maybe I would consider it for a contender. So we'll see. I mean, he may just go ahead and get the jab. I don't know.
So he said they shipped his butt right on up out of there after them little slick comments.
He had no choice.
Right.
So, all right, go ahead, bro.
No, you got it. No, I was going to say, hey, that has been our baseball trade deadline.
Yes,
with
sir.
Our homeboy Eric Boston, who is also a rebroadcaster of the Not the Same podcast through the Pod 20 Collective. So,
yes, sir.
Bro, we appreciate you. You're always welcome. You fam on the show. You fam off the show. So,
and we're reserving you for when the playoffs start. We're not asking. We're just telling you, brother. You coming back for the playoffs.
Back for the playoffs.
Okay.
Especially if the Yankees and the Dodgers are not where you say they're going to be. But with the Dodgers being up, as hard as they is, and the Yankees, I don't see it being no other way. So
they're loaded. They are loaded,
doubt.
Man. I mean, San Diego's going to make it tough, but I think, when it comes to October, pitching, that's when pitching shines. So,
no doubt.
We'll see.
All right, bro. Appreciate you, man. We'll let you leave the closet, man.
All right.
Kids got you trapped back there. All right, man. See you later, bro. All right.
No R. Kelly.
Hey, man, salute to our brother, man, Mr. Eric Boston, man. They got him trapped in the closet. That's what happens, man. You got kids. You want to be quiet. You already know. And if you ever recorded yourself musically, the closet is a perfect place to kind of isolate the sound. So I already knew what it was. All right, man. Hey, once again, appreciate our brother sliding through to help with this baseball stuff where we are lacking. You know what I'm saying? Rob acting like he knows some stuff. That boy looking straight at the computer. No, I'm kidding.
Little bit.
My man held his own over there.
Little bit. Yes, the computer screens are up. That's the beauty of having a screen that spans across.
And a big old. He ain't lying. Yes, sir. All right, man. Now back into our what's popping. Next subject. Bill Russell and Vin Scully. I threw this in here, but Bill Russell, NBA GOAT, Vin Scully, announcer GOAT, both passed away recently. Bill Russell, I believe, was it Monday, maybe Sunday, something like that when he passed, and Vin Scully passed yesterday. Vin Scully was the announcer for the Dodgers. He had been announcing for like 60 years. Ridiculous. You know what I mean? Yeah. But anyway, let us know about that, brother, especially Bill Russell. No hate to Bill Scully. Russell, I just threw that one on you.
Yeah, Scully I wasn't aware of until just now, so that's breaking news for Rob. But Bill Russell died at the age of 88. He was born in February of 1934. I mean, civil rights activist. He was more than just a basketball player. Bill Russell stood for so much for the black community when you could literally get lynched for doing some of the things that he was doing. He was great friends with Martin Luther King. You would see pictures with Muhammad Ali.
As well as Malcolm X.
Yeah, as well as Malcolm X. You would see pictures with Bill, Malcolm, Martin, Lou Alcindor, who is now Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Like, he would be around great activists and just fighting for just equality even back then. And well-respected off the court, 11 championships. I said this in one of my rants. If we want to talk about the GOAT, this man won 8 straight championships. He went to 12 and won 11. Think about that. He went to 12, won 11. Great all-time, lifetime Celtic. You dig what I'm saying? And I
got a bonus for you, brother.
One can even say, the last one, and then I'm going to let you go. One can even say he was the face of the NBA at one point. Go ahead, bro.
His last 2 championships, he won while being a player coach.
Yeah.
Flex on him. You know what I mean? Flex. While being a player coach. As well, he also won 2 championships in college at San Francisco. When you heard of that college? At San Francisco. You know what I mean? This was at a time. This was at a time when you couldn't have that many African-American people on the team, and he still was handling his business. And Bill Russell was not known for scoring. He was known for defense, blocking shots, and rebounding. Like, he's like Robin without the crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. And he's in the Basketball Hall of Fame as well. He's a Coach Hall of Famer. And, shout out to Bill Russell, man. They got the Bill Russell Award now. So
salute to him.
Yeah, salute to Bill Russell.
Live a long life, man.
Rest in peace, brother. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace.
My man, Eric Boston also said, R.I.P. Vin Scully, baseball lost a true icon. Yes, this is a historic voice for baseball of the Dodgers. Remember, the Dodgers used to be in Brooklyn. It was the Brooklyn Dodgers, then it went to L.A. He was there both. He's been there a long time. And in baseball, if you listen to a baseball broadcast, really even television as well as radio, but back in the day when television wasn't as big popping, radio was everything for baseball, and he would tell stories and call the game at the same time, was able to keep you enraptured in the game. You know, people, I don't know who else has a great voice like that, like a Jim Nance. You know, Jim Nance can call college basketball and call golf. You know what I'm saying? One of these people like that. You know, Marv Albert. Marv Albert. You know, if you think about basketball, one of these iconic voices for baseball. So rest in peace to both of them. You have made a great impact in the sports world. Yes, all right, next subject. The number 1 and 2 NBA draft picks combined for 84 points. I didn't have enough room, but that's in a Pro-Am game.
Yeah, the Cross Pro-Am up in Seattle. Let me tell you something.
Yes, sir.
Ventero of Orlando. My fault, Dookie. You can't see it. You know what it is, Dookie. Holmgren of OKC Gonzaga was getting buckets in a 122-105 win. They combined for 84 points. Montero had 50, and Holmgren had 34 points in that Pro-Am. They was getting it in, bro.
Now, Mr. G said Gus Johnson. Yes, another good example.
Yeah, very good example.
Now, these Pro-Ams, it's not the greatest defense, but you gotta recognize this. These are the guys from the streets, from the neighborhood, the local hero hoopers. Like there's some here in St. Louis. A lot of people don't know about it, but there's a Instagram post I got hip to somehow group that I found called STL Hoops, and there's some balling dudes,
ballers
from right here, right? And every city has a group of dudes like that could give the NBA players some work. So these ain't like full scrubs out there, but ain't nobody gonna try to hurt them neither at the same time.
Hey, think about this. LeBron and DeMar DeRozan almost got that work in the Drew League. They won by 2
somebody
points.
Put some hands on them too.
Yeah, they won by 2. They won by 2 points. So that's a lot. These pro-ams is not trash. These are just guys who probably couldn't. They didn't get the break. They didn't have the right representation.
Or they in the streets or whatever it may be.
Or they game just don't transition over properly to the NBA because there's so many politics behind it. It's not just running up and down the court. You all right over there, brother?
Nah, yeah.
Amen.
I saw something on the phone. Like, what happened? But anyway, yeah, man, I agree with you. Next subject, Amanda Nunes gets her revenge and a unanimous victory. Tell us all about that, brother. Shout out to The Voice. I know you somewhere, and I know you saw this.
Yeah. Hey, let me tell you something. Nunes beat the sleeves off of Peanut, bro. Like, I'm up. Like, I got to be at work. I had to be at work Sunday morning at 2:30 in the morning, and I'm up watching Nunes. I'm talking about pulverize this woman as she got her she got her revenge back because she had lost I think in the second round the first time they hit. She had got a head submission, a chokehold submission, and she had to tap out. And Juliana Pena thought she was getting ready to come in and do the same thing, and Amanda came through and put the balls on her. I'm talking, it was so much blood over the ring, bro. Like, it looked like somebody just put some paint and just started finger painting with this woman's blood. Like, it was brutal, bro. Yeah. Hey, it was brutal. Hey, yeah, Pena's tough, but she got the sleeves beat off.
All right, our man Eric asked, what do y'all think of DeRozan becoming the face of the Kobe line? I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
I know he's a huge Kobe fan, and he's an L.A. native. I'm all right with it.
I think I would have went with Kawhi over DeMar.
Yeah, but Kawhi he messed with New Balance though, so he couldn't do it. Mr. G said I was reading that in the next CBA, Silver may stop them from playing these tournaments. Yeah, that'll get stopped. I think Silver. I think they'll fight to stay in there because them NBA players enjoy playing in those tournaments, and it don't seem like a lot of people get hurt in them. So
it don't. I think
it's organized enough. You know what I mean?
It's organized enough, but I think Silva might also be protecting his brand, so I can't really blame him for that. You know what I'm saying? Because, LeBron gets hurt, jumped, or God forbid, even, killed or something like that.
Oh, yeah, that's a problem.
It's going to be an issue.
Brother Marquise, how you doing, sir? Appreciate you sliding. Genuine Life, you know what I'm saying? My man is an artist as well, done a lot of music, done a lot of great things up there in the Pacific Northwest, if y'all don't know who that is. Excuse me, little frogs in my throat. All right, man, let's get into this soapbox.
That's the same place that Crawls Pro-Am was played at, right up there.
Yeah, up in the Pacific Northwest. He might have been out there. Hey, crossover, that's Jamal Crawford joints.
He was out there.
There's some ballers out there, man, for real, in the Pacific Northwest. For real. All right, man, let's get into the soapbox segment.
Soapbox.
Yeah.
All right, this is our soapbox segment where normally we have 2 minutes to go off with a timer that look like this. Normally, Rob goes forth with something of a sports feel. I go forth with something funny or goofy feel. And when it's over, you hear a buzzer that sounds like this. And by tradition, I like my brother Rob to go first. I don't have one tonight, so Rob got it all to himself. Brother, is you ready?
Yeah, I think I'm all right.
Let's go.
Check this out. ESPN is the biggest sports network. As much as Fox Sports, CBS, ABC, and everyone else making moves to be competitors, ESPN is literally the NFL of sporting news. From stats to personalities to insights to docuseries, they do their thing.
Yes.
With that being said, ESPN, why do you have to nickel and dime us for everything, bro? Like, check this out. You got ESPN Plus, ESPN Deportes, ESPN News, ESPN 1 and 2, ESPN U, which is for college.
Yes.
Look,
They got ESPN Ocho. I saw something about that the other day. Number 8.
Ocho.
Yeah, for real. I saw a commercial for it today.
What happened 3 through 7?
I don't know.
They just went straight to Ocho.
Straight to 8. Catch up.
Look, I get it. You have to pay all of these on-the-air personalities. I get that. But let's not act like you're not charging the cable networks for them to run your programs. How do I know? Because last year, I'm a YouTube TV subscriber. Guess who owns ESPN? Disney. Disney wanted to pull their contract, which made me jump ship to go over to AT&T, which was trash for the devices I got at my crib. I'm not going to pump them. They're not paying us. But the point is, it didn't work right for the devices that I have in my crib. And finally, YouTube TV and ESPN/Disney came back together, and I'm back on the YouTube program, right? It's all about the money. That's all I'm going to say. It's all about the money. I'm back. Yeah. ESPN, you win. We get it. You one words win. Stop being bullies of the sports world. Please. You know what I'm saying? Just stop. You win. Disney, guess what? You got everything. Yes. You win. You got it. If you don't believe me, you got Disney plus ESPN and all of that all in one. You one words win. Stop nickeling it down.
And like my brother Mr. G just said, cough, cough. Do you need a hookup? One word. Mr. G?
I am the plug.
That's right. We have it. Have a lot of plugs. All right, let's get it. All right, this will be a real debate fuel today because just other circumstances. But debate fuel, we speak on subjects like this, and then we have 5 minutes like this to go in. And when it's over, you hear a buzzer. I forgot to say my little tagline. But anyway, the first one we're going to get to is with Brady losing his starting center and turning 45, will he still be in Super Bowl contention? With Brady losing his starting center and turning 45 actually today or yesterday, I believe, will he still be in Super Bowl contention, Mr. Davis?
I'm going to say yes because he still has weapons around him, and this is the reason why. Brady is in in that quarterback position, and if you have IQ, which Brady does, you know, unlike when we'll talk about this, certain quarterbacks that got to read their playbook, Brady knows the playbook. As a matter of fact, they implement the playbook behind Brady. He tells them, this is what I want to do. And when they got this in their helmet. No, yes, okay, I'm going to go with that. And then he can audible out. So with his IQ, 45, as long as he don't take a crack hit, you dig what I'm saying? Right. I think he'll still be in Super Bowl contention as long as injuries don't overcome the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Go ahead, C.
I'm going to say no. I don't think he will be in Super Bowl contention, not because he's 45 years old, but because there is not a Gronk there no more. There is not it's a dude, I believe the wide receiver last name is Evans. He had an ACL tear last year around January. Now they say he's back and he's clear for full contact, but listen, dog, I don't think he's going to be all 100%. They did pick up Julio Jones. Julio Jones played for the Tennessee Titans, and he was basically last year with the Titans. Yeah, now it could be because he was with the Tennessee Titans and they're more based on running more so than throwing on that team, and that quarterback was just subpar. But I don't have a great hope for him this year. Now I think Brady is the GOAT of quarterbacks, but at some point you have to slow down. I'm just saying, dog. At some point you have to slow down, and without having your center, the center is one of the first lines of defense for protecting the quarterback. The person right in front of the quarterback is the center. If you got a bad center that ain't that good, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Mr. G say Rudolph is a solid tight end. Could be, but I'm just saying I'm not that positive for the Bucs. Go ahead, bro.
All I'm saying is Brady, and just like basketball IQ or any other IQ, when you have IQ, brother. You gonna figure something out. Every time, this is what I've learned. In the Patriot days, his first year with the Bucs, his second year, every time we bet against this man, he wins.
This is true.
Like Brady is like the Tom Cruise of of football, because these one words like Benjamin Button, they never get old, bro. Like they just don't, and they keep getting better as they old. Cruz in his craft as an actor, old. As they age. Yeah. Cruz as an actor and Brady as a quarterback. And when you have that IQ, bro, and you can read things, yo.
Yeah, I hear all that, brother, but I think, hey, I'm doing like this. Okay, when you get through with all that, my guy, I'm going to say this. If he's not protected, 45 years old, it's going to hurt getting hit when you're 45. And I don't think he's going to be protected as well, losing that starting center. I'm just not sure, man. Every quarterback is great till that protection ain't no good. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you.
Now, I think he has the IQ and the smarts and the basically bulldogness, because Brady would literally cuss you out for not doing right on the team. Like, he do not play. Issues. And one other thing that I think I would say this in Brady's favor, him and Bruce Arians, the former coach, did not really get along, but him and his offensive coordinator now is the coach, which is I forgot my guy's name, the black coach. He used to be a quarterback back in the day, whatever, but his former offensive coordinator, he's a young dude that is his coach right now. They are very lockstep and key, so that may be some good hope for him. We just got to see how the young people do and his backup center does. Go ahead, bro.
This is what I'm going to say. They're in the NFC South.
Yes.
You got Carolina. Yeah. You got the Falcons and the Saints.
This is a good point.
They're at least going to make it to the playoffs. And if Brady get in the playoffs, I'm just saying, like, being in the NFC South is almost like what we talked about with Dak being in the NFC East. You dig what I'm saying?
Leftwich. Byron Leftwich.
Byron Leftwich was a decent quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Brian Leftwich, because me and the fam know him. He went to H.D. Woodson in D.C. Went to school with my cousins and them. But he's turned out to be a great coach, and he has this opportunity to do what it is that he knows how to do.
They gonna suck. No, I'm kidding. Just like a one word, give him controls. That's what he do. All right, next one. Will the Lakers return to title contention with a healthy LeBron and AD? Will the Lakers return to title contention with a healthy LeBron and AD? Mr. Davis, what do you think?
Let me tell you something. The Lakers have 10 ex-Laker veterans who are still looking for gigs in this offseason. Let's go through them. Carmelo Anthony, Dwight Howard, the big dude, Avery Bradley, Kent Bazemore, DJ Augustine, Wayne Ellington. I didn't know him either.
Wayne Ellington is?
Man, please. That
he
boy
trash, though. I mean, he ain't trash. Play. He a shooter.
Ray John Rondo, he shot his way out the league. Trevor Ariza, Derek Collison, and Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah.
Hit that note button for me, brother.
No.
Because as long as Westbrook is playing, it ain't going to happen, because LeBron can only do so much, and LeBron had an awesome season last year.
He did. I will say they might be. And here is why. He's still LeBron. But if AD is actually Howard went to the WWE,
he probably did.
Ain't no telling. He probably did.
He probably did. As the big glue. Go ahead.
Right. Anyway, what's stupid? Big glue. Yeah, anyway, I think with a healthy LeBron, here's the key, though. If AD is actually healthy, then I think they would be a lot better. Also, they did pick up some nice young people. They got my man with the bad hair from the Spurs. I forgot his name. Lonnie Walker. You know what I'm saying? Walker. He's a decent player. It's another.
They picked up the Golden State Warriors guy.
Juan Toscano Anderson, I believe. He's a nice role player. They picked up some decent role players, and I do believe somebody's going to make Westbrook come off the bench this year. That's what I believe. And they still got what was the guy that played for your team? Point guard.
None.
They still got none. If none is healthy again, just somebody to bring the ball up the court, and they know they ain't a star. That's the point. Because Westbrook still believes he's a star. He took his $45 million or whatever it was he opted into, which I don't blame him. But if they
suck.
can.
Now what? Give me my money.
Give me my money. Thank you. Now what? But anyway, yeah. So I think there is a possibility because there's LeBron and there's an AD. But here's probably what's going to really happen. AD's going to get hurt again. LeBron going to quit. That's probably what's going to happen. But anyway, go ahead, bro.
He going to do just like he did Cleveland when he was walking off them Boston streets when they lost up there, taking his jersey off, and he took his talents to South Beach. His talents may be moving if AD is playing like Mr. Glass. Now, I know here's the deal about AD. I know we joke about him getting hurt. Basketball is not easy. And you got to think AD is 6'10", and he's coming down. That's a lot of force coming down on your ankles and your knees or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel bad for my guy because he's a great talent.
Mm-hmm.
But two people, this is their roster, bro. I just pulled it up. Outside of Horton Tucker, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and I mean Kendrick Nunn, but is he going to be healthy? And then you got Scottie Pippen Jr., who Scottie Pippen Jr. is okay, but he's not his dad. He's only 6'3". His dad was 6'8", who was my favorite player of all time. But I just don't see Lonnie Walker, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. Like, they don't – I'm looking at this roster right now, and I'm just not impressed with the 10 people that – I take DJ Augustine over some of the people that they kept on the squad. Just my opinion.
Hey, you did mention something about AD. He always getting hurt because he's big. It brings me to a conversation that comes to mind is big players that play like guards is terrible for their health, right?
Yes.
So back in the day, all big men, 6'8" and above, 6'7", up to 6'8", 6'9", 7 foot or whatever, they was in the post. They wasn't moving. They wasn't doing euros. They was doing drop steps, head fakes, shimmies a little bit. They wasn't dribbling the ball, and I think that is causing a lot of them to be hurt. A lot of these versatile, what you call unicorn big men, end up hurt all the time. Think about my wife called him the universal soldier, but Porzingis, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Always hurt. Even
Always
for my guy, Jaren Jackson Jr., always hurt. He's another big man that shoot threes. You know what I'm saying? Who else another? Embiid early in his career, always hurt.
Always was hurt.
Look at the way Embiid played this year, though. He was in the post a lot.
In the post, killing.
Yes, bodying dudes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now, he shot a few threes, but he was mainly in that post. And I think if these big men switch their mind back to playing in the post, they'd extend their career, especially
longevity.
AD. Now, AD, he always complains he don't want to be a center. He don't want to be a center. I want to be a wing because he was basically a point guard that grew up real tall right before he went to Kentucky. His mind is still thinking, I'm a guard. Dog, you're not a guard. Save your knees, save your legs, get in the post, bang a little bit, actually
hide
be
your
a big
kids,
man.
hide your wife, and get
All right, next subject. This is gonna be tough for my brother and all of us. All right, who other than Alabama will win the college football national championship? Who other than Alabama will win the college football national championship? Who other, once again, than Alabama will win the college football national championship? Mr. Davis, let's go.
I rolled with them all last year.
I already know what you about to say.
Bulldogs.
Uh-huh.
I said it all. I kept saying Georgia, Georgia. And you know how many times I got nope.
All the time?
Every time. He did me in because he had controls of the buttons.
This is true.
But I really think Georgia can still, stay up there. I know we don't. Shout out to our MTMV Sports fam, JT. Excellent
MVP
football
University.
last night. The
Yes,
MVP
sir.
University. If y'all want some sports insight, check them brothers out. But
Yes, sir.
Look, I'm saying Georgia, man. I really think Georgia can do it because they have no fear and they have the confidence. They have the coaching. They have the team. So I'm going with it, man. I'm going with Georgia.
All right, I'm going to throw you for a curveball. I'm coming with Ohio State. That's who I think may be as a curveball, and here's why.
Wow, another
And I
powerhouse school.
Yeah, well, I wasn't gonna say Memphis or nothing like that, or Northeastern. Come on, brother. Who else can we pick? All right, look, I got some notes about it though.
What up?
What'd you say?
I said, what up with it though? Let me hear these stats, brother.
All right, here's my notes about that. They have a returning quarterback who was a Heisman favorite, C.J. Stroud. He's returning this year. He was a not rookie, but a freshman last year. He's a returning quarterback. They have some good wide receivers. They also basically are the Alabama of the Midwest. Basically, they can get anybody they want, right? They are powerhouse. They're always good, and they always kind of go like every 3 years. They end up there. Now, here's another reason why I say they have a chance to get into the college football national championship, because Alabama and Georgia is going to knock each other out when they get to the SEC championship. They're going to beat each other up. That's the reason why. Now, who will be? It'll probably be Alabama. Most likely it'll be Alabama. But I'm going to shoot out for Ohio State. They also have they have a very easy road schedule, Ohio State, where they can rack up wins and kind of get closer towards the playoff. But anyway, go ahead, bro.
Well, right now, the odds makers right now, if you was to go to Vegas and do your little betting thing, Alabama is number 1 to win it. Ohio State, and number 3 is the Georgia Bulldogs, followed by the Clemson Tigers and the USC Trojans. This is what they are 2001 odds, but this is my thing. Why do we always have to throw a Cali team in there?
Always. Why we gotta do that, man?
Like Trojans? No. Hit the no button again, bro. Like, come on, man. Like, they always do it. Like, it's like, we got to do it for the Valley. Stop it.
Skip the Valley. But yeah, man,
it.
I agree with you, really. I threw in Ohio State as a curveball. Like you say, the betting odds have Ohio State up there and Clemson at the bottom. And Clemson may come back. Only other person I think can actually maybe have a shot is Ohio State, the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Ohio State.
Right.
Yeah.
But it probably going to be Alabama or Georgia for here into eternity for the SEC and the whole College Football Association, because they are awesome. They're powerhouses. They're big. They're strong. They're fast, and they got decent quarterbacks. So,
but with that being said, it's funny because now with the NIL, things are getting ready to start shifting. I give it 5 years, and I pray that not the same as doing big things. We on networks. Hey, ESPN, I talk noise about you, but if you want your bros, if the check is right.
If the check is right, me and Rob will both be just like this.
So you already know what it is. You did? So with that being said, I do think that with the NIL, this is getting ready to start shifting, because the reason people went to Alabama was for the coaching.
Yeah.
The reason people went to the Ohio State was for the network.
The coach.
You know what I'm saying? Different thing, the coaching and the namesake. But with NIL, I believe that it's going to be a shift. And in the next 5 years, hear me when I tell you, in the next 5 years, the people that are at the bottom of this list, as I scroll down, and the last person on this is the Pittsburgh Panthers. My point is, these guys can start back coming to the top. They got Cincinnati. Cincinnati had a great season. They got Cincinnati all 25,000 to 1 odds to win the national championship.
That's why.
Yeah, they lost to QB, but with this NIL, I think it's going to start shifting. And like Coach Sanders said, yo, give me 2 years.
Yeah, what he said. Yeah, man. All right, man. Before we get up out of here, man, we got a one word of the day. Let's get to it right quick.
You silly, bro.
This one word. No.
Of the day.
It's the same thing. All right, man. Now, I haven't even changed this yet. But who the one word of the day is, as I put in there, I let Rob tell y'all, who is the one word of the day, bro?
The one word of the day just paid their starting quarterback guap. I'm talking about money, pesos, cheese, the cheddar, all that good stuff. But they had this little section in his contract that said you must study your playbook 4 hours a week. Not 4 hours a day, but 4 hours a week. You need to study your playbook. See, and I talked about this last week, and I said black quarterbacks have a stigma about themselves about not being intelligent, and they want to study. Now, this is what I said. For the money they gave me, I will be studying. I play the game for free. I would study the mess out of it.
Facts.
But after the backlash, Arizona pulls my man back to the table because he went to Twitter to discuss it. Pull him back to the table. Had a press conference
talking bad.
Yeah,
you know,
talking bad about it. And they pulled it out and said, okay, well, you don't have to study.
Yeah.
Arizona Cardinals, let your yes be your yes and your no's be your no's and stand on what you're doing. If you put it in the contract and that one word signed it, that's on him and his lawyer and his people to go over the contract. Use some one words. You are one word for one because you tuck your tail.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying? You are one word for two because you put it in there in the first freaking place.
Yeah.
And you are one word for three because he chumped you.
Yeah.
That boy deboed you. What?
Yep.
Give me my money. There it is.
He ain't lying.
That way, man. Listen, I think it was totally. Now, this is a good point. I'm so glad you asked this, Mr. G. I wanted to get to this point before we get up out of here. Why did he sign the contract? Number one is a lot of money. But here's the other reason. On the other side, the Arizona Cardinals was terrible for putting that in there and very denigrating of their quarterback by putting that in there. If you felt that way, that he don't read the playbook and he's not good with the playbook, why did you offer him the contract? If you have to put that in there, why did you offer the contract? Why? Because you ain't got nobody else. That's why you did it. But let me say this. He needs to fire his representation.
There you go.
Because probably what happened was his representation, which I mean his agency, whoever his agency is, said, yeah, this looks like a good contract. Which means the agency looked at it and said, $190-something million? Sign it. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't read it good neither. Which that's terrible. Fire them right now. Fire them right now. Because if there was a good agent, he would have said, no, don't sign that, because they would have made him take it out the contract. Go ahead, bro.
It was a $35,000 signing bonus with $160 million guaranteed. Yep. I'm signing it too. Yep. I'm just gonna be real with you.
Right.
I'm signing it. You want me to study it? Okay, I'll put y'all on blast about that. But give me my money.
Yeah.
And that's how we gonna do it. But Arizona, y'all some one words for even putting the contract out there and tucking your tail. Let your what you gonna do? He gonna quit?
Right. If that's what you feel, stand on it. You know what I mean?
Stand on what you're saying.
Miss Winder brought up somebody else that should have been in the what's popping. Deebo Samuel signed his contract. He got a nice contract with the San Francisco 49ers. Salute to him.
Is she talking about Deebo as in the Cardinals got Deebo, or we talking about Deebo Samuel?
Well, either one, both of them work.
Both is good.
Cardinals did get Deebo'd, and Deebo Samuels got paid. Some of these dudes don't read their contracts. Yeah, this is facts. This is facts.
Yeah, they do. They read the most important part to them, the guaranteed money and the signing bonus.
Is it paid?
Is it guaranteed? Oh, okay, cool.
And no matter what happened, if it ain't getting paid, they gonna say,
Be the fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There it is. There it is. Because here's the crazy part about it.
Forget I had that.
You're right, I did too. And we're gonna get out of here after I say this. Mahomes have some stipulations in his contract where he has to work out so many hours a week. This is Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not odd that it was in there, but stand on what you're doing.
Stand on it. You know what I mean? A couple of things that I want to add. We didn't talk about that's supposed to be within the what's popping. It was so much we couldn't put it all in one thing. Today, in 1949, the NBA was formed. So right now, it's the NBA's birthday. The NBA started in 1949 on August 3rd. So salute to the NBA. There's a popular college basketball player named Paige Buckers. I can't remember what her name is. She be shooting half court just like my guy Steph.
Like Steph.
She tore her ACL. She out for the season. That's bad. And the last thing, we don't have enough time to really go into this, but we may talk about it next week. The Miami Dolphins lose a first-round pick for free agent tampering. Do you know they was tampering with Tom Brady when he was a Patriot, trying to get that man to come to Miami? Why he was a Patriot. And also what I heard today on a sports talk radio show is, remember when Tom Brady decided he was going to retire and all of a sudden they got hushed away? He was going to retire because they had a deal with Miami for him to go there and play and also have ownership stock. It got snuffed out by the rest of the owners, and they snitched on him, and that's why they got that, losing their first-round draft pick. In the NFL, when you lose a first-round draft pick, that hit different.
That's big.
That's big. bid because the top 3 picks can be awesome players. Top 3 round picks can be awesome players. And yes, Mr. G, it does happen all the time. But somebody snitched on them, and all of a sudden now, and now the Miami Dolphins feel just like this.
Yeah, that serves them right. They shouldn't have fired their coach.
They shouldn't have fired the coach. Yeah, you get all of what you want to do. And NFL did this big old investigation on it, and they found out that they wasn't paying him to lose, but they still did all this other stuff. They lost a first-round pick, so it's bad. It's bad.
They paid that one word to lose.
They paid that one word to word. Yeah, they covered it up. But with that being said, man, we will be back tomorrow night with another Not the Same podcast, music and faith show. And we may have a guest, you know what I'm saying? So tune in for that.
Yeah, definitely.
With that being said, man, I'm C. Micah.
I'm Robert Dean.
We out, man. We see y'all tomorrow night.
Yo.
Christ lives in us, so we gave us the strength, so we gave us the power.